Welcome to XO, where science meets heart at the kitchen table. I'm your host, Davey. In each episode, I narrate B-side tracks curated around a single theme: the why behind the ingredients, the swaps that make it better, and the stories that have been simmering for generations. No interviews, no guests, just me and you. This is EP4, the acid test. Before we get into the kitchen, the vinegars, the vinaigrettes, the moment a single squeeze changes everything, I need to tell you what this episode is really about. It's not about sour flavors. It's about clarity. Because once you understand what acid actually does, you stop reaching for the salt cellar and start reaching for the lemon. Once you see that the most versatile ingredient in your kitchen has been cleaning your counters and dressing your salads from the same bottle, everything gets simpler. Once you know that flat food isn't missing more, it's missing a clarifier. You stop throwing things at the pot and start asking one question. And once you understand that some food has a clock and the clock is already ticking, you stop saving it for later and start eating it now. 4 tracks, 1 squeeze. Let's go. Track 1. Voila, vinegar. I have a reverse osmosis system for our water. The other day, I needed to clean the glass carafes. They had that faint yellow tint inside, algae maybe, or mineral buildup, whatever causes that coloration. My first thought: soak them in water and vinegar. Then I looked at my all-purpose cleaning spray sitting on the counter, the one I use for everything. Water, vinegar, a few drops of Dawn. What if I just sprayed that inside the carafe? My immediate reaction: gross, that's for cleaning. Then I stopped. Wait, it's mainly vinegar. The same vinegar I was about to use anyway. So I sprayed the inside of the glass carafe, added hot water, a quick wash with a silicone sponge, squeaky clean. And that's when it hit me how much of my house has been simplified by one single ingredient. Think about what's under your kitchen sink right now, or in your cleaning closet: glass cleaner, bathroom cleaner, kitchen counter spray, floor cleaner, stainless steel polish, granite cleaner. The list goes on, each bottle promising to tackle one specific surface, one specific problem. I used to have all of them. Now I have one spray bottle, water, vinegar, 5 drops of Dawn. That's it. It cleans glass without streaks. It cuts grease on the stove. It disinfects counters. It tackles soap scum in the shower. One bottle replaced an entire arsenal. And here's the thing: the fancy bottles were just vinegar dressed up with fragrance and marketing. Different labels, same basic ingredient. Vinegar is 5% acetic acid. That's the magic. That's what cuts through grime, dissolves mineral deposits, kills bacteria. Everything else is theater. I just picked up Pascal Baudard's book, Wildcrafted Vinegars, and it blew my mind. Not because vinegar making is complicated, because it's not. Pascal is a culinary alchemist. He makes vinegars from pine needles, mushrooms, berries, even tree bark, wild foraged ingredients that express the landscape where he lives. But here's what stopped me cold. You don't need to forage in the forest to make your own vinegar. You can start with leftover wine, or apple scraps, or any fruit sitting in your fridge. Vinegar isn't something you buy and run out of. It's something you grow. It's alive. It multiplies. Once you make it, you can keep making it forever. The bottle under my sink suddenly felt different. Not just a cleaning supply, not just a salad dressing ingredient, a starting point. One ingredient with infinite remixes. How to make vinegar. You need 2 things: alcohol and a vinegar mother. The The mother is the cloudy, stringy culture floating in raw, unfiltered vinegar like brags. It's alive. It's what converts alcohol into vinegar. Here's the method. Pour leftover wine or beer into a clean glass jar. Add 2 tablespoons of raw vinegar with mother per cup of wine. Cover with cheesecloth or a coffee filter. It needs air. Put it somewhere dark and forget about it for 2 to 3 weeks. Taste it. When it's as sour as you want, it's done. That's it. Voila, vinegar, all-purpose cleaning spray. For a 22-ounce spray bottle, 20 ounces water, 2 ounces white vinegar, 5 to 6 drops. Dawn dish soap, just a tiny squirt. Add Dawn first, then vinegar. Fill with water. Swirl gently to mix. Use it on counters, glass, stovetops, bathroom surfaces, everything except natural stone like marble or granite. Lemon vinaigrette. 3 tablespoons vinegar, 1 tablespoon fresh. Lemon juice. 1 teaspoon Dijon mustard. 1/2 cup olive oil. Salt and pepper to taste. Whisk everything together. Drizzle on salads, roasted vegetables, grilled chicken. Quick pickle formula. For any vegetable, 1 cup vinegar, 1 cup water, 1 tablespoon sugar. Optional. 1 tablespoon salt, heat until sugar and salt dissolve. Pour over sliced vegetables in a jar. Let cool. Refrigerate. Cucumbers, onions, carrots, radishes, jalapenos. Anything works. 1 ingredient. Cleaning, cooking, preserving, creating. That's the whole remixology philosophy right there. Small shifts, big changes. We complicate things because we think complicated equals better. More bottles, more products, more steps. But vinegar taught me something. Versatility beats specialization. 1 bottle that does everything is more valuable than 10 bottles that each do one thing. It's the same principle I use in the kitchen. Master 1 technique, 1 ingredient, 1 method, then remix it infinite ways. Vinegar cleans my house, dresses my salads, pickles my vegetables, and now, thanks to Pascal, I can make it myself and never run out. That yellow tin in my water carafe was the reminder I needed. Sometimes the simplest solution has been sitting on your counter the whole time. One ingredient that cleans your house, preserves your vegetables, and starts a living culture you can make forever. That's not a cleaning supply. That's a foundation. And once you have a foundation, the only question is what you build on top of it. Track 2. French vinaigrette collabs. The French vinaigrette is doing collabs. You know that sound when you open your refrigerator door? The gentle clinking of half-empty salad dressing bottles with colors that have shifted from vibrant to, expiration dates older than your last vacation. Sadly, mine was a while ago. Then when you finally pick one up to check the label, the first ingredient makes you do a double take. Water? Water? For salad dressing? Then comes the real Frankenfood parade. Soybean oil, distilled vinegar, sugar, garlic, onion, lemon juice concentrate. And that asterisk means it's all dehydrated powder. Plus calcium disodium, EDTA, added to protect flavor, and mysterious natural flavors that could mean literally anything. It doesn't take water and 24 other ingredients to make great dressing. And you don't have to run to the store every time you want something fresh on your salad. The French vinaigrette has been quietly perfecting the same 5-ingredient recipe for centuries. And now it's ready to show these imposters how real flavor collaborations work. The French vinaigrette is like that reliable studio musician who's been backing every great track for decades. Dijon mustard for depth, vinegar for brightness, quality oil for body, simple, clean, effective. But now it's stepping into the spotlight with a series of collaborations that prove sometimes the best remixes come from the most authentic foundations. Unlike those factory-made dressings with their cost-cutting soybean oil, these collabs only feature real ingredients bringing genuine talent to your kitchen. The Collaboration Collection. Base track. French vinaigrette makes about 6 ounces. Perfect for classic mixed greens, tomato salad, or roasted beets. 1/4 cup white wine vinegar. 1 tablespoon Dijon mustard. 1/2 teaspoon salt. 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. 1/2 cup extra virgin olive oil for a French vinaigrette. Use avocado oil as the neutral base in all 5 collaborations. Note, if you're making the traditional French vinaigrette solo, the one they teach at the CIA, use extra virgin olive oil. Use avocado oil for all the other 5 collabs. Its neutral taste lets the guest ingredients shine. Add vinegar, mustard, salt, and pepper to a jar. Blend in oil with an immersion blender until it thickens. That's your foundation. Now let's see who's ready to collaborate. Collab number 1, lemon plus dill, perfect for grilled salmon or roasted vegetables. Take the French vinaigrette and add 2 tablespoons fresh lemon juice, 1 tablespoon lemon zest, and 2 tablespoons chopped fresh dill. Use your immersion blender to incorporate. This collaboration adds Mediterranean brightness. The citrus cuts through rich fish, while the dill adds an herbal note that makes vegetables actually exciting. Collab number 2, tahini soy. Perfect for Asian slaw or grain bowls. Take the French vinaigrette and add 1 tablespoon grated fresh ginger, 1 clove grated garlic, 1 tablespoon honey, 1 tablespoon rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons tahini, 1 teaspoon sesame oil, and 1 tablespoon soy sauce. Use your immersion blender to incorporate. This is the collaboration nobody saw coming, but everyone's talking about. Creamy, nutty, with layers of umami that make even basic cabbage taste like restaurant-quality slaw. Collab number 3, Caesar perfect for, obviously Caesar salad, but also roasted Brussels sprouts. Take the French vinaigrette and add 2 teaspoons Worcestershire sauce, 2 cloves minced garlic, 1/4 cup grated, Parmesan cheese, and 2 tablespoons mayonnaise. Use your immersion blender to incorporate. For a lighter version, skip the mayo. The French technique can carry this collaboration solo. It transforms roasted Brussels sprouts from side dish to showstopper. Collab number 4, honey mustard. Perfect for chicken salad or as a dipping sauce. Take the French vinaigrette and add 2 tablespoons honey, 1 tablespoon whole grain mustard, and 1 additional tablespoon Dijon mustard. Use your immersion blender to incorporate. Sweet meets tangy meets creamy. It elevates simple chicken salad into something worth making again and again. Collab number 5, Green Goddess. Perfect for crudité platters or herb-heavy salads. Take the French vinaigrette and add 2 tablespoons thick Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon fresh tarragon, 2 tablespoons fresh chives, 2 tablespoons fresh parsley, and 2 tablespoons lime juice. Use your immersion blender to incorporate. This is the French vinaigrette going full California, fresh, herbal, and vibrant. It makes vegetables taste like the main event, not the opening act. Here's the beauty of this collaboration series. Make the base once, then customize throughout the week. Each variation makes about 8 ounces. Perfect for a week's worth of salads without watching half a bottle go bad in your fridge door. Unlike those processed dressings that stay fresh for months, thanks preservatives, these collaborations are meant to be enjoyed within a week. Let herb-based versions sit for 30 minutes before serving so the flavors can harmonize. Shake before each use. Separation is normal when you're working with real ingredients instead of emulsifiers. The French vinaigrette brings structure, that perfect oil-to-acid ratio, 3:1. The emulsifying power of Dijon mustard, the foundation that lets other flavors shine without competing. Each collaboration adds its own personality without overwhelming the base track. Compare that to store-bought dressings, where everything tastes vaguely the same because they're all built on the same industrial foundation of cheap oil, artificial flavors, and chemical stabilizers. The French vinaigrette has been waiting in the wings while processed dressings dominated the charts with their flashy packaging and mysterious ingredients. But these collaborations prove that authentic flavors never go out of style. They just need the right remix. Your salads deserve real collaborations between real ingredients that actually complement each other. A base that's been perfecting itself for centuries, ready to collaborate with anything you put next to it. But the vinaigrette isn't just a dressing, it's a lesson. And the lesson is that acid doesn't just add flavor, it reveals it. Track 3. Before you add more salt. I'd made a chicken soup, good broth, roasted vegetables, plenty of seasoning. I tasted it. It was fine. Not bad. Just flat. Like something was missing, but I couldn't name it. So I added more salt. Tasted again. Still flat, but now also salty. Added pepper. More herbs. A splash of soy sauce. I was throwing things at the pot the way you throw pillows at a couch that doesn't look right. More stuff, same problem. Then I cut a lemon in half and squeezed it in. Not a lot. Maybe a tablespoon. The whole pot woke up. The broth tasted brighter. The vegetables tasted more like themselves. The chicken had depth I couldn't find 5 minutes earlier. Nothing changed except the acid. One squeeze, and every flavor that was hiding under the richness suddenly had room to be heard. That was the night I stopped thinking of lemon as a garnish. When a dish tastes flat, the instinct is to add more. More salt, more spice, more heat. But the problem usually isn't that something is missing. It's that everything is buried. Fat coats your tongue. It's delicious, and that's why we cook with it. But it also muffles. When a sauce is rich or a soup is heavy, the fat creates a layer over your taste buds that makes everything underneath harder to detect. Lemon cuts through that layer. Citric acid physically breaks up the long-chain fats coating your palate. It clears the surface so your tongue can actually register the flavors that were there all along. You're not adding a new flavor. You're removing a barrier to the ones you already built. That's why a squeeze of lemon makes chicken taste more like chicken, not more like lemon. When it's working right, you shouldn't even know it's there. You should just notice that everything else got better. This is the one I tell people about the most because it changed how I cook every day. Salt and acid activate the same receptors on your tongue. They share a neurological pathway. When you add lemon to a dish, your brain interprets part of that signal as saltiness, which means if a dish needs something and you've already salted it twice, the answer might not be more salt. It might be acid. A squeeze of lemon can make a dish taste perfectly seasoned without adding a single grain. I've cut my salt use by probably a third since I started finishing dishes with lemon instead of reaching for the salt cellar again. The food doesn't taste like less. It tastes like more. The juice gets all the attention, but the skin is where the real flavor lives. Lemon zest is pure essential oil, limonene, trapped in the yellow outer layer. It gives you the aroma and flavor of lemon without the acid sting. It's bright, floral, and intense in a way the juice can't match. Most people squeeze the lemon and toss the rest. That's half the fruit doing nothing. Zest first, juice second. I zest directly into the pan, onto the plate, into the dressing. It builds the top layer of flavor, the bright, aromatic part you smell before you taste. Then the juice comes in underneath as the structural piece, the acid that rebalances everything. A microplane grater is all you need. Run the lemon across it a few times. The amount of flavor that comes off that thin layer of skin is out of proportion to the effort. The more I paid attention to lemons, the more I realized they do everything. Deglaze a pan. After you've seared something and the fond is stuck to the bottom, a squeeze of lemon juice lifts it all up. The brown bits dissolve into an instant sauce. Acid does the same job as wine or broth, but adds brightness instead of depth. Stop oxidation. Squeeze lemon over cut avocado, sliced apples, anything that browns when exposed to air. The acid slows the enzyme reaction. It buys you time. Tenderize protein. A lemon marinade breaks down the surface of chicken or fish, which helps it absorb seasoning and cook more evenly. Clean the board. After you're done cooking, rub the spent lemon half across your cutting board with some salt. It deodorizes and cleans. Every part of the fruit works. I buy lemons the way some people buy milk, always, automatically, because running out means the kitchen stops functioning at full capacity. The best cooks I know all do the same thing. Right before a dish goes to the table, they taste it, and then they reach for the lemon. Not to make it taste like lemon, to make it taste like itself. That's the whole secret. Lemon isn't a flavor. It's a clarifier. It doesn't add to the dish. It reveals what's already there. If your food tastes flat, before you add more salt, before you add more spice, before you start over, cut a lemon in half. You probably just need the squeeze. Acid clears the surface so everything underneath can finally be heard. It buys you time. It does the job of salt without the salt. But there's one place where acid can't save you, where no technique, no clarifier, no chemistry can substitute for one thing: being there, right now. Track 4. Make it now. Eat it now. The moment you cut an avocado open, the countdown starts. The flesh hits the air. The enzymes meet oxygen, and the browning begins. You have maybe an hour before the bright green turns army drab and the flavor starts fading. 2 hours, and it's a different food entirely. That's not a flaw. That's the point. Guacamole is one of the only foods that demands to be made and eaten in the same sitting. You can't batch prep it on Sunday. You can't save half for tomorrow. You can't buy the plastic tub of gray-green paste at the grocery store and call it the same experience. That version has been stabilized with gums and preservatives to survive a shelf life that guacamole was never meant to have. Real guacamole is temporary, and the fact that it's temporary is what makes it good. Most people squeeze lime into guacamole for the flavor. That's valid. The acid cuts through the richness of the avocado and keeps each bite from feeling heavy. But the lime is also doing chemistry. Citric acid lowers the pH on the surface of the avocado, which slows the enzyme that causes browning. It's buying you time. Not a lot of time. We're talking an extra 30 minutes, maybe 45, but enough to serve it without watching it turn brown on the table. Most people underdose the lime. They squeeze in a polite amount and stop, but guacamole needs more acid than you think. The avocado is almost entirely fat, and fat muffles everything. The lime has to be assertive enough to cut through that richness and create balance. If you taste your guacamole and it feels flat or one note, the answer is almost always more lime, not more salt. This is the same principle as every other dish. Acid is the clarifier, the thing that makes everything else taste more like itself. I used to mash the avocado first and stir everything else in. It was fine. Then I learned how guacamole is made in a molcajete, the stone mortar and pestle used in Mexican kitchens, and the order is reversed. You grind the aromatics first, salt, chili, onion, cilantro. Mash them together into a rough paste before the avocado ever enters the bowl. This does two things. The grinding releases the volatile oils from the onion and cilantro, the sharp, bright, aromatic compounds that define guacamole's flavor, and the salt draws moisture out of the onion, which creates a liquid base that distributes more evenly through the fat. Then you add the avocado and fold it in gently. Not mashed to oblivion, you want some chunks. The paste coats every piece. The flavor is in every bite instead of concentrated in pockets. It's a small change in sequence that makes a noticeable difference. The guacamole tastes more defined, more layered, more like every ingredient showed up on purpose. I'm sorry to be the one to say this, but leaving the pit in the bowl doesn't prevent browning. It protects the tiny circle of guacamole it's physically touching. Everything else keeps oxidizing. If you need to hold guacamole for even a short time, maybe you made it 30 minutes before guests arrive, press plastic wrap or parchment paper directly onto the surface. Flat against it, no air pockets. What causes browning is oxygen contact, and the wrap creates a seal that the pit never could. Better yet, just make it right before you serve it. The whole process takes 5 minutes. If your avocados are ripe and your limes are cut, you're one bowl and a fork away from done. It's not the kind of food that benefits from sitting. It benefits from immediacy. Chips are the obvious answer, and I'm not going to argue with chips. But if you're looking for something with more crunch and less crash, raw jicama sticks are the move. They snap like an apple, they're sturdy enough to scoop, and they don't compete with the guacamole's flavor the way a heavily salted chip does. Radish slices work too. So do thick slices of cucumber or bell pepper. These are all delivery systems for the fat and acid. The crunch gets the guacamole to your mouth, and the clean flavor lets it stay the star. And the additions that surprised me, a pinch of cumin stirred in at the end, grounds the whole bowl. Diced mango in summer adds a sweet acid contrast that plays off the lime. Pomegranate seeds in fall give you little bursts of tart crunch, scattered through the richness. None of these are traditional. All of them work. Guacamole is the purest version of the fresh ingredient argument. It cannot be manufactured. It cannot survive packaging. It exists in a window, a brief, bright green window, and then it's gone. That's not a limitation. That's a reminder that some of the best food is the kind you make right now, with what's in front of you, and eat before the moment passes. 5 minutes, 5 ingredients, no shelf life. That's the recipe. That's EP4, the acid test. 4 tracks, 1 ingredient running through all of them. The bottle under your sink that's been doing double duty all along. The foundation that remixes into 5 directions without losing itself. The squeeze that wakes up everything you already built. And the guacamole that can't wait, because the best food never does. Acid doesn't add, it reveals. And sometimes the clearest flavors are the ones you make right now, with what's in front of you, before the moment passes. Here's to health, happiness, and a remix that's uniquely yours. Thank you for spending time with me. The Remixology app is where the remix continues. Recipes, swaps, and a little something new every Friday. Here's to health, happiness, and a remix that's uniquely yours.